Hey everybody, it's Elias from Drum Channel. Today we're digging into the song Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. This song's a classic, and it's a little bit deceiving. You might first hear it and think, oh, this is a pretty easy song. There's a couple of grooves going on. But when you really break it down, there's some cool stuff that he's doing and a lot of hits composition-wise that are a lot of fun to catch. So today we're going to be covering that. We're going to be going over the sections, what grooves are in the song, and what's required to learn this song. What I really like about this song is Ernest Boom Carter does an incredible job of playing musically and playing a groove that feels really well, but he also brings a lot to the composition by catching a lot of the hits. And he does this by almost approaching it like a big band drummer. He catches a lot of hits, traditionally how a swing big band drummer would do it, just in a rock sense. So let's cover the groove first, and then we're going to go over some of those hits I was talking about and how to approach practicing them. So I'm really just going to break down the fundamental beats. There's really only two in this song. One that's used during the beginning of the song mainly, it's during the verse, and then another that's played quite a bit through the song, usually in the chorus and in the pre-chorus. You'll notice that I improvised a little bit, which is actually what the drummer does on the song. It's not an exact beat, but the outline of it is essentially just eighth notes on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare, and then variations of different bass drum patterns. Most of the time, he's playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But he also throws some bass drums in different areas. So I would practice just getting that down as slow as you need to, and then adding a little bit of variation. He also tends to add an open hi-hat on the and of 2, so 1 and 2 and then on the and of 4. So I would practice those two different things. But you'll notice in the transcription, he does it in a few different areas. The next part of the song is on the ride, and he's kind of generating more of a quarter note feel. There's a little bit of eighth notes in there once in a while, but what I think is unique about this groove is that the snare isn't just on 2 and 4. He adds a snare on the and of 2 and then on 4, which kind of gives it this like lazy feeling that I think really helps with the melody of the song. So I'll play that right now. Again, I improvised on this as well because he's doing the same in the song, and you'll notice there's an outline, kind of like a skeleton groove, and he goes in and out of it a little bit. There's also some hits in a lot of the sections where it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's on the crashes. So I'll demonstrate that real quick. All right, so now we're going to get into a trickier part of the song, and essentially we're just going to go over something he does a few times. It's kind of like a linear type groove, but really if you dig into it, it's in the transcription. The first one happens on measure 73, and essentially the sticking is like a paradiddle. So we're going to break that down really slowly, and I'll just do a paradiddle at first, and then I'll do what exactly is written. And then we'll play it exactly how it's done on the record. So the next tricky section happens on measure 101, and it's a paradiddle again, but it's slightly inverted. So you'll notice it's left, right, right. The sticking starts on a different part of the beat. A good exercise in general is to learn all the different inversions of the paradiddle. Technically, this would be called the inverted paradiddle. So I'll play that, and then we'll introduce exactly how he played it on the record. Now we'll do exactly how he did it on the record. He does it as a 2-bar pattern. Essentially, like I said, it's the inverted paradiddle. He takes out some of the kicks and some of the left hands. So you have it there in the transcription. All right, so now we're going to get into another tricky part, which to me is kind of the pinnacle of the song. A really neat part at the end of the bridge where the whole band is just hitting a bunch of syncopated rhythms together in unison. You'll see on the transcription that it starts around measure 105 and goes through into the last verse. So essentially, I'm just going to play it, and then I'll break it down. So you'll notice I was keeping time on my hi-hat, and I think for this part it's crucial to have some sort of reference of where the downbeat is because it's a ton of upbeats. I think more importantly, before you apply it to the drum set, try to clap it out and maybe keep time with one of your limbs. Try to count a quarter note if you can. So essentially the rhythm from 105 goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You'll notice that there's a ton of upbeats going on. So I highly recommend just doing this with the metronome. You could start slow and work your way up. You can also use our sound slice player to hear it and count along with it. You can loop the section and just practice that by itself. But once you've got that, try to start applying it to the kit. So like I was doing, keep the hi-hat going and try to catch everything with all limbs, so all unison. Now start to look at the transcription and add the different variations that he does in the actual recording. So you're going to notice he sets it up almost like a big band drummer would with the snare drum before the kick. So I'll demonstrate that. Those are the first two measures, and then everything else from there is unison. So I'll do the first two measures like he does on the recording, and then I'll do the unison. You also notice at the end, he just does some variation on the tom. So I'll add that in as well. So here is the full section breakdown from 105 going into the verse. Slow that down as much as you need to. It might take a little bit of time to get that. There's a lot of syncopation, but it's a lot of fun and it adds so much to the song. So that's going to wrap up this lesson breakdown. You'll see there's obviously more going on. Just work slow at it and use the transcription. You have the ability to slow it down, like I said, and just kind of fine tune exactly what he's doing. So just dig in, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one.